Hey everybody, welcome to Hockey SKATEDOWN. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. If you want to join a hockey team, it's free. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell to all. Thank you all so much, and let's get started. The past 72 hours have been very eventful for the Ottawa Senators. Pierre Dorion has made some bold moves. 3 separate transactions have occurred. I want to do a video detailing all of them. I'll start off with the Stepan trade. Stepan was traded to the Ottawa Senators for a 2021 second-round pick. Now, we all know what Arizona is trying to do in this. They want to create some cap room with their organization, trying to unload some players, and that's what they wanted to do with Stepan. You know, he's currently making $6.5 million against the cap this past year in 70 games. He had 10 goals, 18 assists, 28 points, and only $2 million is owed to him with his contract. So, you know, they value what he could bring to this team. He's a 200-foot player. They like the way he plays the game. I remember watching him play for the New York Rangers. He's a good player. He can provide offense. He can play a well-rounded two-way game. But as he went to Arizona, it just really wasn't a fit. You know, he had some good times, some bad, but you could see his production start to take a dip where Arizona had to make a decision to try to make some cap room, and they're going to try to trade off some players. So, you know, it was evident even before the whole Hall situation where they were going to try to make some cap room, but you know, it's a tough call, but this is what happened. And you know, with the Ottawa Senators, it could mean that he could play with the system. He slots right into that number 2 center spot, and you know, he could either play for this team. He doesn't have a lot of term left, or they can ship him off and trade him towards the trade deadline for an asset that way, where they could pick up a possible pick or a prospect that way. You know, teams do covet this sort of player when the trade deadline comes around. So we'll have to see what the Ottawa Senators do, but this is a very interesting trade. Going over to the signing, Tim Stuetzle signed his entry-level contract, his 3-year deal, which carries a $925,000 annual cap hit. You know, he played in the DEL last year, had 7 goals, 34 points in 41 games, Rookie of the Year honors. Currently, he's captaining Team Germany, and this kid is a stud. He really is. You're seeing him play very well in the World Junior Championships, scored a couple of pretty goals. And, you know, watching him during the draft, I was hoping... I remember when the Devils were at that spot, you know, mid to last year where they were higher up in the standings and Stuetzle was at that spot. I'm like, well, I hope we grab this guy. But as we fell, he rose, and, you know, he was in the Ottawa Senators draft positioning, so they went to pick him, and that's a brilliant decision to draft this kid. He's going to be a superstar in this league, and he's really going to help this team out. So I really like what Ottawa has going with their prospect pool. I really liked especially what they did in the first round of this draft this year, and they really did something with their organization where they sped up the process, and they're going to be a good team in the coming years. So I really like what they did with drafting him, and this kid's going to be a stud. And going over to the trade where they made with the Tampa Bay Lightning, they traded for Cedric Paquette, Braden Coburn, and a 2022 second-round pick, traded to the Senators for Marian Gaborik and Anders Nilsson. So with Marian Gaborik and Anders Nilsson, they're 2 contracts that can help Tampa Bay's situation where they can both go on LTIR. You know, Marian Gaborik really isn't playing, and Anders Nilsson's been dealing with concussion issues where, you know, they can really put them on LTIR and help themselves out that way. And with Cedric Paquette, Braden Coburn, these players are going to be good players for the Ottawa Senators. You know, Cedric Paquette is a good depth piece. He's a good center, left wing sort of player where he can play on your bottom 2 lines. He's a Stanley Cup winner. He's a battler, and he's going to help this team out. So with these players, Braden Coburn, I know he's a defenseman. He's up in age. He's 35. You know, Paquette's 27. He's still young. Both don't carry a big cap hit. Paquette's making 1.65 and Coburn's making 1.7. So, you know, I think it's a good situation for Ottawa. I think this was a good trade to make, as these players can play with the organization for this year, see how they do, and possibly move them like Stepan for a pick or an asset that way towards the draft, towards when the trade deadline comes. So I like these moves that Pierre Dorion's making. They still sit nice with the cap space. There's still $8.5 million in cap space available after all these moves. And looking at their draft situation in the next coming years, in 2021, 22, and 23, they have all their draft picks. All they're missing is in 2021, they're missing their 4th and 5th round picks. And they have extra 2nd round picks in 2021 and 2022. So they're still sitting very nicely with their draft picks. They have good cap space. They have a very deep prospect pool. I like what Pierre Dorion's done with this team with signing Galchenyuk, we're trading for Matt Murray, signing Dadanov. I think these are really good moves that can help this team be more competitive, be harder to play against. So, I'm interested to see what the Ottawa Senators are going to look like this upcoming year. It's going to be a team that's it's going to be a lot harder to play against. So I'm curious to see what happens with these moves, if they decide to keep them going forward this year or trade them at the deadline. But I really like all these moves that Pierre Dorion did. What do you guys and girls like? Do you like these moves that Pierre Dorion did? Comment below and let me know. And as always, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Smash that like button. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the Hockey Skate Down. Join our hockey team. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of the day. Have a great night. Stay safe and take it easy.